Well, I guess we'll go ahead and kick this thing off. You know, in honor of the most talented family in the history of the world, that's how we're gonna start it off. This thing off. I love how when I played that, my internet went out. We gonna have to start making phone calls. Yeah, again. Again. Welcome to another edition of the Madness Basketball Podcast. Myself, TP, Marlo might be on the way. DK, we're not sure if he has to work or not, but I do want to welcome y'all to another edition of the Madness Basketball Podcast. A lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff to talk about. I guess I'll just go ahead and get right into it. So, remember when
You're kind of breaking up, Troy.
Okay. Yeah, I see. I'm back now. Let me go ahead and change my settings. All right, let's try that. But yeah, I want to welcome everybody to another edition of the Madness Basketball Podcast. Right into it. I told y'all this whole name, image, and likeness thing in this house settlement. Under no circumstances are they going to be able to limit this house settlement when it comes to third-party NIL. It's not happening. Y'all can hang it up. I done told y'all it's not happening. That is not a thing. The judge 2 weeks ago said, hey, I have a concern about this. The Supreme Court has already ruled on this. Why is this even in here? Well, it's in there because Division I schools want control over players. And if they have third-party NIL deals, do they really have to stay at that school that's not going to let them start? Is that really even a thing? So, now that we know that's not a thing, they got to go back to the drawing board. And in other news, that other UT in Knoxville is going to add a surcharge to their ticket holders for an athletic player fund. Now, I'm all for schools getting their money up. And I'm
I guess this is the TP show. How about them Longhorns, man? How about them Longhorns, man? Keep telling y'all. Pay attention. And don't think that we got any type of QB controversy. There's none of that. Quinn is the guy. You know what I mean? So you got to dig deeper into the whole situation. We got Arch waiting, ready to get on the field, ready to show what he can do. This was an example of what he's able to do. If you watched or saw any of the highlights, you seen him take off about, 60, 70-yard run? I didn't know he had wheels like that. But I know now. And guess what? The rest of the world knows now. So that's something that you got to pay attention to. My takeaways from the game was basically we're a dominant force. We're playing together. And we have to continue doing so moving forward, especially once we get into the real teeth of our schedule. Oh, my bad, Troy. I was just, talking to the people.
No. I'm glad you got to your UT. We can get to the other thing because far be it from me to start a controversy. That is not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
That's
Don't do
that. But I seen the young boy.
So I didn't know that he had wheels like that. Like I'm telling the folks, I know now. I think the whole world knows now. Because that is another level of his game that his uncles did not have. And having the football knowledge that's been passed down to him by growing up in a football family, especially under two Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, he knows a lot about the game that the average sophomore would not know. And then being in the offense under Steve Sarkisian, playing behind Quinn Ewers for a couple of years and learning how to actually play this game at the collegiate level. Not only that, that's going to propel him to move on to the pro level. But we saw very early with his first pass, it was a touchdown. He moved out the pocket, he kept his eyes down the field, and he made a play. And then we fast forward, there was nothing downfield, and he took off. That is a different type of skill set that he possesses. And there is no controversy. Quinn Ewers is our guy. He was clearly hurt or showing that he was hurt. That interception he threw was the direct result of him having pain in his hand. If you've ever thrown a football, you have to hold it tight when you get ready to throw it. And if your hand is hurting, there's anything going on, your grip is loose and it throws off your time and you're going to overthrow or underthrow wherever you're trying to throw the ball. Now, that could have just been used to get Arch in the game. He might not be hurt at all. But either way, we know who our quarterback is. We know that from the beginning. This was never meant to be a quarterback controversy. We know that Arch Manning is good. We know that he is going to be ready to step in and start at any given moment. If anything happens to Quinn, Arch will come in and we won't miss a beat. That is a luxury that no other team in this country has. So no, there is no controversy. We know that we're going to be good at the signal caller position for this year, next year, and the year after that. Name another school that can say that. Don't worry, I'll wait. Outside of Nebraska, because Dylan Raiola is a true freshman, I don't know no other team that has the confidence in their backup quarterbacks that we have. We're just giving y'all little bits and pieces as we move through the season and we get into the teeth of our SEC portion of the schedule. The injuries at running back can be overcome because we have a next man up mentality. CJ Baxter goes down, Jaden Blue steps in. Jaden Blue goes down, next guy up comes in and does what he's supposed to. We keep that going. There's no doubt in my mind that we won't be in the playoff, let alone playing for a national championship. We just got to be healthy and firing on all cylinders at the right time. As we know, football is a very fickle sport, and you can be hot at the beginning of the year and fall off at the end. Saw it from the Ravens last year. It doesn't matter as long as you go out there and you compete and you put your best effort. If you have what it takes to make it to the playoff, then you have to be hot at the right time. And that's what everybody is trying to do. And with the new playoff system, this is going to give more teams an opportunity who normally wouldn't have that coming towards the end of the season when they might be firing on all cylinders. They go in there and they're going to shock somebody. Mark my words, you're going to see some shocking games come January, well, December into January. You are going to see some shocking games, and it's going to blow your mind that some of these teams that you thought didn't even have a chance before the season started are sitting there in the top 4, top 8, getting ready to play for a championship. And a couple of those teams I like to mention: Nebraska, Boston College. These are teams that are actually going to shock the world if they haven't already.
It's always a beautiful thing when my notifications get turned off and it still pop up anyway. Um, Hopefully this internet connection gets a little better. But uh, here's my thoughts on Texas. They put in the recruiting effort at the high school level. They hit the transfer portal when needed in areas of need, but they still recruited those areas of need. And then they use the NIL as they should have. There isn't, is there a kid without a Ferrari? So, um, why would I say something hating, Willie? I like what they've done. I said there are 2 Texas schools. I thought maybe even 3, but I don't think SMU is that school. How they use NIL, it's gonna be nasty for the rest of the world. And the SEC, I told y'all this over and over again, and I'm gonna keep telling you this. Bama don't have Texas money. Nick got out for a reason. He know what everybody else know. Oil money is a different kind of money. That's old, long money that keep getting longer. So nothing to hate for. It's a school in Tallahassee that might need to take notes. But,
You said it, not me.
because it need to be said. It need to be said. It need to be said because
0-3.
the SEC is already big in NIL based on 2 schools. One school just can't win to save their life. The other school had already been to the playoffs. But getting back to what I was saying earlier, and just to give you an idea, TP, is Texas asking the fans to pay more in season tickets to help pay for, the players?
Nah, they just ask more for season tickets because the team is getting better.
The University of Tennessee is asking.
It's more of a so supply and demand, right? Everybody wants to go to Longhorns games, so the price is naturally going to go up. That's a natural thing. But Tennessee flat out asking for more money to give to the players is ludicrous. It's actually ludicrous. Talk to your donors, talk to your boosters. Find out a way where we can incorporate more money that is generated by the university to be appropriated towards athletes, if that's your goal, to pay players more. But the fans, that responsibility should never fall on the fan because, and I'm gonna say this because I would be remiss if the Texans blamed me for them being trash because I didn't give them money. That's how this works. You build a product, I'll pay to come see the product, but don't ask me to pay for the product. You get what I'm saying?
100.
That is how that works.
You know what? I'll go you one better as I deal with my internet, and I apologize to everybody. I don't know what's going on with the internet tonight. It started off crazy. It's the house settlement. That house settlement got everybody shook. And I don't know why. It's not like you ain't see this coming. EA settled a decade ago. Because EA knew, hey, this is going to be a problem. We're going to go ahead and settle this. Y'all drag this out.
You know what else we got to pay attention to? Politics. What is one of the biggest topics being discussed right now? It's the Department of Education bill, which is going to affect colleges as well. Even private universities benefit from the education, from the Department of Education. And if it is dissolved, the money then has to come from the state and has to be appropriated down from the state. They're pretty much giving the control of the education system back to the states. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? We really don't know. But that's scary. We don't know how to prepare for the unknown.
Well, I know one thing. That judge said what you're not finna do is mess with NIL. That's what that judge said. So y'all go ahead and talk about it and come back to me when y'all got something better. Because under the proposal, they wanted to limit NIL to a certain number per player. Well, you are basically trying to screw with the free market, and it ain't gonna go so well. Because the Supreme Court is the reason why there's NIL. And to be clear, because y'all get on Twitter and y'all talk about these players getting paid, and then y'all talk about their performance. We say it here week after week after week. NIL has nothing to do with what you do on the field. It is your face card. Yes, there are random companies out here who are giving valuations based on a player's 5-star, based on what he's doing in college. Most NIL deals, when they get signed for the duration of that player at wherever they are. So if that player is a transfer and he only got 1 year, that deal is in 1 year. So y'all online looking at these, oh, he's worth $28 million. Really? What company told y'all they was gonna give him $28 million for a year, 2 years? I ain't seen it.
They must forgot that we live in America. This is not a dictatorship. It is not a communist country. We live in a republic, and a capitalist republic at that. This country was built on people being able to set their price, and then if you can't beat it, that's on you. But if you can, hats off to you. The only time the government has ever stepped in is in the case of monopolies. We've seen it with Walmart. We've seen it with Target. When there is no way to distribute across the board, then there's a problem. But you're not going to have that in college football because there's too many schools that got loan money. These universities have been around for over 100 years. They have money that go back before your grandma. They predate your great grandma. They have loan money. So for you to say that one school is capped at this, then you try to put that on every school, okay. We still have the issue of If that cap is still too high for some of these low market schools, they're still at a disadvantage. So you didn't fix anything.
Nope.
I gotta explain profit sharing to people because they clearly don't understand that some schools make more than others. They have more to distribute because they generate more income.
I'm, I, I'm trying not to get on my soapbox tonight. I really am. So, oh Jesus, because
Oh, I'm ready.
I feel it's so there are a few thoughts out there in the ether, and I have no problem telling y'all how I feel and what I think. And there was a topic put out there. Do you think HBCUs should charge more to give players money so they can get the best players? So let's just be honest and be real, right? If HBC, let's actually let me go back. Each HBCU university has a finite amount of tickets they can sell per game, unless it was FAMU back in the 90s. That's another story for another day. So your 19,000, your 30,000 seat arena, that's it. That's the finite amount. So if you add $2 on top of your 35,000, that's all the extra money you got, right? So you got, let's say you got an extra 500,000 for NIL, right? They are offering low run players 100,000, and I'm talking about P2 schools. Texas's NIL collectives is giving away Ferraris. So, how can HBCUs possibly create a pool of money in which they can compete for a few players here and there? Let's beat that dead horse, shall we? Media rights deals are free money. You're already playing the game. You're already filming the game at FCS level games. You already have the replay crews, all of that. All of that is already in place. You're already doing that.
And let's not forget that a lot of their production is done by college students who don't even get paid to do it.
So this is free money when you negotiate with the mothership. And as I said before, at some point, people in power are going to have to see the potential of media rights deals to increase their budget. And if it increases their budget, you're now pushing ESPN to increase their budget to bring in a bigger fan base to pay for your increased revenue.
I can tell you a easy way to fix it. YouTube TV. A contract with YouTube TV would be generational for HBCUs. I'm gonna tell you why. Because YouTube TV offers the ability to have not a set channel, but for a set school. When this school is playing, they have a link. When that school is playing, they have a link. Every school would have a link. Everybody would be able to watch you. And guess what? It'll just be included in their YouTube TV subscription. Or you can add a package for it. $5, $10 added on to your already YouTube TV bill. Guess what? More people would be using YouTube TV for the simple fact that they get everything else. Plus, they only have to pay a little bit extra and they can watch all of their HBCU games, basketball included. This would be generational. Do you understand me? But who am I? Who am I? I'm not a marketer. I'm just a fan. But even I understand business. You don't have to have a degree to understand how the world works. Just pay attention where things are going. We're moving in another direction. People don't have cable boxes and stuff like that anymore. Everything is streamed. So, how do we capitalize on that while increasing our viewership? Because I tell you what, having all these different games and stuff under different paywalls is not the way. It is not the move. I'm not paying $10 here, $5 here. Oh, this game I have to pay directly just to watch this game. We're not doing it. Unless I'm an alum or got a child in the team, I'm not paying another $10, $15 to watch one game. Or for a station that may not even play the game that I want to see. Because there's multiple games going on at the same time and they only got one station. So then they have to choose the game of the week, and that's the one that we get to watch. Let's open it up, people. I just fixed y'all problem and y'all ain't even know
it. Shout out to Dr. Cavill. He is having a symposium on how to fix HBCU sports revenue. Go check out the BSN sports page for that information. But the conversations are happening. So now that the conversations are happening, I'm not going to lie, I'm happy that the conversations are happening. There are some people that I want to punch the wall when they start commenting, but all opinions are welcome. It's just, please understand, if your thought process is, we don't need them people, then you shouldn't have media rights deals with them people. And you need to contact your conference representatives and find out why y'all having media rights deals with them people. That's all I'm saying. It's a way to do it, and it's a way to make them pay you.
So we often lose sight of why HBCUs were built in the first place. They were built as an opportunity for Black people to be able to get a college education. But it was never exclusive. It was inclusive. So for the whole, we don't need them people, that's not the mindset to have, because we're supposed to be trying to promote an inclusive type of community. And that doesn't, those two things don't go together. Because you have white people at HBCUs. So then for you to say that, oh, we don't need your people, how would you feel if ESPN was like, well, we don't need y'all people? It would be problems. So let's not act like the shit don't go both ways. Because if you want to have a symbiotic relationship, then you have to be open to said relationship. But when you close doors, you limit yourself. And that's everything in life.
But now that we got that out the way, I need to address the cocaine bears of the West.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what y'all trying to do. I know y'all do a lot of drugs in Berkeley, so y'all just do whatever. But y'all trying to beef with us when y'all ain't won nothing since integration is crazy. It's crazy. Like, y'all last championship, I believe, was in 1937. What we talking about here? Like, y'all not starting like a troll war. It's literally annoyance. We got real problems, and y'all want to troll about a football game. We trying to figure out what's wrong with our football team, our head coach, our NIL collectors. We trying to figure out all this stuff, and you want to poke a little fun and talk about woke state and all of this. Let me bring y'all into this world. Understand me. That's cute. Y'all doing well for yourself. That's cute. I'm not finna do an FU video for UC Berkeley. I'm not finna do that. Who y'all got? Y'all got what? Charlie White, y'all Heisman winner. Y'all got Beast Mode, and y'all got Aaron Rodgers. Everybody else ain't worth remembering because ain't none of them raised no title. Y'all ain't no rival. Your old conference, all of your old conference mates left and didn't take you with them. You wasn't good enough.
Left behind. Y'all got left behind.
Come on, man.
Kids.
They're the last team picked on the basketball. Last player picked on the basketball court. Come on, man. What you doing? You know what? Let me tell you.
They couldn't even develop a real rivalry in their own conference.
Their rival is Stanford. You beefing with a tree.
Stanford what are we doing? Didn't even care about them. Stanford was worried about Notre Dame. Let's be honest.
Like what? UC Berkeley? I don't even call y'all Cal because you UC Berkeley. So I get it. It's cute. It's cute. But you know who used to like Florida State? Your mama. In the 90s, I was there. Your mama liked Florida State. She used to fly down to come see Florida State play. Your mama liked Florida State. So, again, I'm breaking up. But it's all good. It's all good. Let me stop talking about these people with stable internet. So I guess we need to talk about. I hate that Marlo not here before I start talking about NFL. I really hate that because Derek Carr is hooping. And not to like lessen his impact, that motherfucking Baker Mayfield is hooping. Baker. I know it's two games, but Baker's hooping. And I want TP. I had to point this out because you know who is, I believe, second in the league in completion percentage and pass yards?
Baker Mayfield.
No, it's Gardner Minshew.
Oh.
The stash. Yo,
I was watching that game, right? I'm on the phone with my cousin, and I am laughing the entire time. I am literally laughing at the whole Ravens organization. No, I'm not laughing at y'all. I was laughing at the Ravens. Partly because they were a 9-point favorite going into the game. It was a 3-3 tie, 6-3, 9-3. I was like, bro, the Raiders might fuck around and win this game. And the more the game went on, you know what I saw building on the Raiders sideline? I talk about it all the time. You know what I saw? I mean, that's one thing. There's another word. It's a 4-letter word. Hope. Not just hope for that game, but hope for the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I saw building. As that game went along, the confidence was rising, but also the level of hope. They believe.
Listen, I've been begging, pleading. Somebody give me some offense. That's all I need is a little bit of offense. You ain't got to score me 45. Get me 21. We can do some things. We can. Do you know the list? So I know he only had 29 yards, but Jacoby Myers had a big time pickup on third down. I needed that. And um, the rumors of Tay not being the best wide receiver in the league have been greatly exaggerated because he back and he a whole problem. A whole problem. And TP, I know everybody love that dude in Kansas City that play tight end. I know. I know everybody love that dude in Kansas City. I have a tight end who might be the best in the league. He might be the best in the league.
Are we saying that because Travis Kelce only has 4 catches through 2 games? I need you to come back down off your high. Because you was on that horse and you riding. You gonna ride him into oblivion if you're not careful. Brock Bowers is good. But we can't just you get 2 games and now he the best. Come on.
He blocked
David
and he catch.
David Njoku still plays football last time I checked. George Kittle still plays football last time I checked. And Travis Kelce isn't known for starting the seasons fast. The Chiefs have a plan, and part of that plan got blew up on Sunday. I'm not going to lie. The loss of Isaiah Pacheco is going to hurt that offense. But they slow roll Kelce. They let him get going mid-season and let him be in full playoff form come January. And then here we return to the best tight end in the game. It doesn't matter. We're in week 2. But Brock Bowers is really good, and it gives a lot of confidence to the offense when you have both a dominant tight end and a dominant receiver that your quarterback can throw to, especially with somebody with the track record that he has. You have to have players with large catch radiuses when you have an inconsistent quarterback. And he's been doing good so far, but we've seen this story from him before. He is this generation's Ryan Fitzpatrick. He'll start off really good, and then mid-season we'll be like, okay, yeah, that's the Gardner I know. He'll make some plays early. It's exciting. He wins some games in there, and then here comes mid-season. Gardner's mid-season form is not what you want. The only thing that I can hope is that he overcomes his previous downfalls. He watched some tape on himself. Because I heard something that I didn't, I thought about it, but I didn't really know if NFL players actually did that. But CJ Stroud was talking about somebody that told him that they watched their own tape before the game, plays that they did good to build that confidence. Because it's like, okay, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. So Gardner needs to go back and watch the film on when he was playing good in Jacksonville and the things that he did good in Indianapolis, because that is going to be important. Once he get into that mid-season, everybody then settled in. It's starting, the pressure is on because now we're looking like, hey, we got to make a push for the playoffs. The goal is 10 wins, 10 and in. How we get there doesn't matter. We need 10 wins. That's how my Texans went into the season last year. I kept that same energy the whole season. I kept saying we're gonna win 10. I said it before the season started. I gave you the exact number of wins we were going to get last year, and that's what we got. We got 10 wins because I knew that we had the talent to do it. It was just a matter of going out and actually believing in yourself and getting the job done. Can Gardner Minshew do that for 18 weeks? I'm asking you, do you think Gardner Minshew can do that for 18 weeks? Can he keep this confidence for the next 16 weeks and propel y'all into the playoffs with how well the Chargers and Chiefs are playing? We're not going to talk about the Broncos. They still trying to figure out Bo Nix.
So, like, if I'm being honest, right? The only thing that worried me was how we lost to the Chargers. I didn't like how we lost to the Chargers. They ran right at us. And we had injuries on the defensive line, so I understood that. Looking at it after being pissed off from the game. When we came into this game, I said, we're going to give up some rush yards because they got Derrick Henry. But you make it easy when Derrick Henry only has 62 yards and you stop running him. You're going to have to decide, do you want Lamar Jackson to be MVP of the league, or do you want him to get Super Bowls? Because if you want him to get Super Bowls, even Joe Montana had Roger Craig. You have to make a decision. You can give both. You can give Derrick Henry carries, and you can have Lamar looking like MVP. You pass the score, you run to win. It's essentially baseball. When you get that lead, you bring in your closer, and you run until you break the will of the other team. Now, my problem, TP, with my Raiders, believe it or not, is not Gardner Minshew. It is our inability to run consistently. That is my problem. Now, if the defense is going to close out games, game after game, as if they are the Gulf Coast defense of the Buccaneers or the Chicago Bears, cool. But that is a rare occasion where you have your defense closing out games as opposed to your stud running back breaking the will of the other team. Because it's easier for the offense to convert first downs than it is for the defense, as we saw on Monday night, to get stops when you need them to. You can't put everything on the defense. Defense going to need the rest. So we got to run the ball. But the Raiders and the Ravens games, I give the Raiders a B+ on their effort. There's stuff that we need to work on. We need to get healthy. The defensive backs played way better than I expected them to. Way better. And El Diablo can make plays as long as he don't overrun the plays. He might have too much speed for his own good sometimes. But when he get to the hole, he get there with a misunderstanding. So they get a B+. And I guess we gotta talk about the Bucks game, I guess. Because the Bucks played well. They played well. Baker is playing above Baker. And I don't know if Baker is gonna go back down to Baker level, but Baker played well. He played well. I don't know if Mike Evans can keep this up. If he can keep it up, they're formidable.
They still get Gotten.
They got Gotten.
And Rashad White.
So they look good. TP. Alvin Kamara. I'm sorry. I just disrespected New Orleans' entire offensive line. Let me go back. New Orleans has an offensive line that's going to push you into the secondary. Alvin Kamara didn't get touched till he was 4 yards down the field. You know what? Let me call Marlo, because I feel like I want to go to the New Orleans game, and it would be wrong not to ask Marlo if I can go to the New Orleans game, because I feel like I'll get the moonwalk twice down Tampa Bay Boulevard. For the people watching, yes, I am calling Marlo to harass Marlo about the Buccaneers. Because why not? Why not? Oh, he ain't gonna answer the phone, y'all. Don't worry about it. I'll catch him later. Um, can we call San Francisco done now? Can we say they're done? Because I feel like there's the recovery for the 49ers is going to be difficult. And we're really about to see what Brock Purdy is like, if he's really like that. So I don't know. Am I still breaking up, TP?
Not good.
Okay. And I'm talking around everything except for I don't really want to talk about Tua because I don't want to
Yeah.
insult nobody. I don't want to insult nobody's family.
Well, we got to talk about him.
For him to come out and say he's not retiring, and I want to preface this by saying I do not. I can't. It is difficult to make a decision like that when you're so young. However, he's 24, 25, making decisions that can affect him for the next 25 years. And the people who are supposed to love him either A, don't have the cachet or standing with him, which is a failure in family leadership, or they're not getting good medical advice. We saw this young man on multiple occasions convulsing, not just like laying on the field, convulsing on the field.
I think they called it the fencing position. Where it looked,
That's scary.
yeah, it is.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to watch football with my kids seeing that. This ain't MMA. It's football. Yes, it's a violent game. But
Every mother who has a son that plays football stomach turned when they saw that. Hell, every father that has a son that plays football, they stomach turn because that's a real possibility for everybody that steps onto a football field. And we seen it not even 2 years ago when DeMar Hamlin had to be ambulanced off the field. Now there's things being done to make the game safer, but if you're not going to protect yourself, and this is that hit fell on him, by the way.
Yep.
Slide. Don't go head first into a safety when you're 6 feet tall, 180 pounds. That's not your game, sir. I mean, Jalen Hurts can kind of get away with it because he's squat 500. He at least has the power. He's built like a running back. Tua not built like a running back. He cannot sit there and continuously take these hits and get bounced around the football field like a rag doll. And I understand the coach said we're not going to talk about him retirement. We're just going to talk about his health. Well, him playing football is detrimental to his health. So we need to talk about it. Because how many more of these hits is he willing to take before he hangs it up? And that's a question that he has to have with his family. That's a conversation that he's going to have with himself. And at the end of the day, quality of life means something. It's a game. You're risking your life to play a game. And I get it. Everybody risks their life that step on a football field. But when you've had continuous catastrophic brain injuries, it becomes almost not worth it. But that's where I stand.
Well, I'm gonna continue to pray for Tua and his family, for clarity. Um, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't want him to retire. I do. I'd rather him retire and regret not playing 20 years than play and be dead in two. I that's I just rather not see him go through that and his family go through that. I just saw this come across the wire, TP. The Chiefs signed back Kareem Hunt to their practice squad. Um,
I saw that earlier. Good move. Good move for the
if,
Chiefs.
if he's healthy and can get his form back, that'll be a good signing. That'll definitely be a good signing. Um, I'm gonna say it now, TP. I was wrong about Neighbor Lady. And injury aside, I don't think Mr. Wilson gets his starting role back.
I don't think he should. First of all, Mike Tomlin ain't a quarterback by default type of guy. Who's winning games right now? Justin
Mr.
Fields.
Fields.
So why would I blow up what's working to appease somebody who we actually have no loyalty to? Because he hasn't built that relationship with the city and with the rest of his teammates to be like, oh, when he's healthy, he's back our guy. Bledsoe could have played in the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick went with Tom Brady. The rest was history. So injuries will cost you a spot. And Drew Bledsoe wasn't nothing to laugh at. Last time I checked, he was a first-round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
He was brought in to be the guy. And the guy got them to the playoffs. A lot of people forget about the regular season before the tuck. Who got them to the playoffs? Drew Bledsoe did. But who won them Super Bowl? See, everybody remember who won the Super Bowl, but they don't remember who got them there.
Yeah.
So, yes, definitely, Russell Wilson should remain on the sideline. And it's not because Justin Fields is better. The team is winning. There's no reason. Don't fix what ain't broke.
You should probably tell that Chicago.
Mm.
Everything that glitters. You know, when I was a younger
The
man,
Bears actually got lucky. The Bears actually got lucky. Because Caleb Williams ain't that bad. His offensive coordinator has to do a better job. What I saw in that game was Caleb Williams put in horrible situations. I'm saying this as a Texan fan. And the amount of hits that he took in that game, he get hit like that every week. We ain't gonna see him the whole season. That boy eyes was wide open come fourth quarter. He had the little black chips all over him. He couldn't even wipe them off fast enough because by the time he wiped them off, he back on the ground. They did nothing to help him in the second half. First of all, y'all not doing a great job of blocking. So what do? We add more people to block while sending out less people on routes, forcing him to stay in the pocket longer to try to find somebody. Because your three little receivers are getting blanketed by the 8 that is still in coverage. The 7, the 6 or 7 that are still in coverage. The numbers wasn't, the math wasn't mathing.
Who thought Keenan Allen was going to actually help him as a wide receiver?
Keenan
Who
Allen
thought?
didn't play
Keenan Allen had 4 passes for 29 yards at a 7.3 average.
against the Texans.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the Titans.
Keenan
My bad.
Allen did not play
Oh.
in on Sunday night. Keenan Allen did not play. They went out there with DJ Moore, a banged up Roman Dunze, and I forget number 11's name, but that was their third option. And on a lot of plays, there were only 3 receivers out on routes, and he might have had protection for a minute, but you can't ask a quarterback to sit in the pocket for 5+ seconds every play. And
Roma
that's when the Texans
Duzier.
said, okay, you're going to block 6 and 7? Well, we're going to send 6 and 7. We're going to match the amount of people you were blocking. It looked like we blitzed a lot, but we were actually matching the amount of people they were blocking. That's another level of sports that I don't think people understand. They were like, oh, D'Amico keeps blitzing them. Yeah, because they're blocking 7 people. We're not about to sit there and let him just sit in the pocket unappeased while he got 7 people blocking for him. No, we're gonna turn it up. We're gonna match the amount of people you block. That was the game within the game.
They threw the ball 37 times with a rookie quarterback. DeAndre Swift had 14 carries. And I mean, Caleb Williams had 5 carries for 44 yards, but you have 22 carries for 71 yards at a 3.2 yards per. That is not going to cut it. You have a rookie quarterback, because we've seen what playing rookie quarterbacks too early can do. Jameis Winston is an example. That Bucs franchise is known to draft a quarterback and absolutely ruin them. Jameis wasn't the first one. It was 2 more before that. So this is what's going to happen in Chicago. They are about to become the quarterback destroyers. They're going to be right up there with Carolina.
You know what? I don't know if I necessarily 100% agree with you, because they actually went out and tried to address the skill positions, which is something they didn't do with Justin Fields. That's something that they didn't do with Jay Cutler. I mean, you can bring Brandon Marshall back, but then after that, who else you gonna have to throw to? So the Bears historically hadn't invested in wide receivers until now. They get the trade, bring in DJ Moore. They signed Keenan Allen in the offseason, and they still draft Roman Dunze with a top 10 pick. So they are committed to surrounding Caleb Williams with talent. What they need to do is get him a right tackle. That's what they need to do.
They can run the ball, then.
And you can run the ball. You can set up your play action, your run pass options. You have more things you can do when the threat of run exists.
Well, speaking of organizations that don't know what they're doing, mind you, I'm a layperson and I'm saying this out loud. Carolina, you lost 26-3 to the Chargers. J.K. Dobbins ran for 131 yards on 17 carries. Justin Herbert threw 20 times for 130 yards. One thing Jim Harbaugh is not going to let you do is throw him out the game. That's what you not finna do. Um, and I'll be honest with you, I
It's
thought
like
JK was on the trash heap.
it's like people forgot that Jim Harbaugh took the 49ers to the Super Bowl. This is a good coach. This is a guy who just won a national championship. Had to beat Alabama to get there. A Nick Saban's Alabama. This ain't this year's Alabama. He beat a Nick Saban's Alabama to get to a national championship and win it. He is going to coach at the highest level. It's really after that it's dependent on the amount of talent that he has on his roster. But the mishandling of Bryce Young is tragic. It's absolutely tragic. He's had 3 different offensive coordinators in 18 games, and it has not worked. Now we're going to bring in somebody who, let's be honest, hasn't had a great end of his career as well. He was mediocre in New Orleans. They ran him out of Cincinnati. Ran him out. The fuck out. Paid him, ran him out. Which seems to be a trend, honestly. But he has not performed well. But he might this week. Maybe he has. And here's another thing. Bryce Young didn't play in the preseason. There's no consistency. There's no fluidity in the offense. How do you expect somebody to run the offense if you don't give them a chance to actually learn it? And then we seen what the Saints did to the Cowboys. So that tells me 2 things can be right at the same time. Yes, the Carolina Panthers are not that good, but yes, the Saints are that good. So you got beat by a really good team. And then you play the Chargers, who also won in week 1. So you lost to another pretty good team and a very good coach team who knows how to beat rookie quarterbacks, because let's face it, Bryce Young is still operating at a rookie level.
I agree.
So bringing in Andy Dalton and benching this man while not actually giving him an opportunity to be successful.
TP, you don't think the Red Rifle can ride again?
Oh my fucking God, that's the nickname, the Red Rifle. Fuck him.
Oh God.
The only reason I say that is because he knocked my high school out of the Texas playoffs. I don't know if you know this, he's from Houston. He went to Katy High School in Houston, Texas.
Yep, I know.
Katy is the number 6 school in the country right now. So they've always had a great football program. He was, a product of that, and they knocked us out of the playoffs. 1 game before the semis. So yes, I ain't never liked him. I was so glad when my Texans beat him in the playoffs. It was so funny to watch him come back to Houston, only to watch his Bengals get beat the fuck down in the playoffs. Now, it might have been a homecoming for you, but it ain't gonna feel like
it. Before we move on, I guess we got to talk about Dallas. They can't run. They can't block. They can't tackle. And they can't cover. And I know we talked about New Orleans and the juggernaut that they have become. But Dallas doesn't have more talent than everybody else anymore. They no longer have that advantage. So them being just regular season champs, I mean, what did dude say? They might be champion of the timeline, but them being regular season champs, I don't know. I don't know. I, did the NFC switch to the NFC South this year? Is that what they became?
That's a whole lot of. I didn't expect this going across the NFL. I mean, nobody expected the Saints to be 2-0. Nobody expected the Washington Commanders to be number one in the division after 2 weeks. Nobody expected the Bucks to be 2-0, especially with having Detroit so early in their schedule. Nobody expected the Steelers to be 2-0. There's a whole lot of hell. I don't think people expected the Raiders to be 1-1. I was sure they was gonna start 0-2. Especially after the debacle in week 1.
Shout out to Antonio Pierce.
You know, and competing with the Ravens is one thing, but beating them? Cap tip.
Cap tip is so disrespectful. It's so disrespectful.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Nobody expected. Did you expect?
We've beaten Lamar twice in a row.
No. And look, wanting and expecting is two different things, and I need you to understand that. Wanting something and expecting something is two different things. Did you expect them to beat the Ravens?
Because we have in the past, yes. That was the whole thing. We've done that
Lies.
in the past.
Lies.
How am I lying? We
Lies.
expected to win.
You was ready to burn the ship, throw the captain overboard after last week.
I had every right to. It was the Chargers. It's still. I don't care who the head coach is.
So you lose to the Chargers and you expect to beat the Ravens. Like I said, wanting and expecting two different things. I want to win the Super Bowl. I expect us to make it to the playoffs. See the difference?
Again, I expect us to be the second place team in the AFC West. I expect
you expect that. Okay, well, right now y'all third.
We on the third because we ain't played enough division games. Don't worry, we'll be back.
Third because the other two teams in your division are 2-0.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only reason.
And y'all lost to a divisional opponent.
Yeah, it's okay. It's early. We'll be all right. We'll be just like last year. I told y'all we was gonna be second in the division. Y'all ain't believe me. What was we? Second in the division. Now this year's second in the division should be the playoffs.
And you know what's crazy?
We
third
might
in
get
that
3.
division might get you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The AFC South as a total has 2 wins, and the Texans got both of them.
Because Jacksonville is not
sell artists.
Well at all.
Sell artists. They sold both games. The Titans sold both games. The Colts, they didn't sell the first one. We whooped their ass. It should have been worse. Score should have been worse. But against the Packers without Jordan Love, y'all let Josh Jacobs hit y'all for 150 across the head. You tell it. So right now, the Colts are on an amazing path right now because that is back-to-back weeks you gave up 150 yards to the opposing team's running back.
They ran for a combined 206. They ran the ball 53 times, TP. They think they're Nebraska.
Because they had Malik Willis at quarterback. They had no faith in him throwing the ball down the field. And look, they didn't have to have faith in him throwing the ball down the field because they didn't have to.
He threw 14 times for 122.
Hey, Troy, a win's a win.
Okay. What is it? I swear to God, this looked like a D2 HBCU box score. Like,
The bad thing about it, You know what? The bad thing about it, their quarterbacks played like it. Anthony Richardson couldn't throw a football in the ocean. He fucking around and hit land. That's how bad he was. And we're a week removed from the greatest throw I've ever seen. I told you it was luck. I told you that shit was luck. That man slipped and threw the ball as far as he could. Alec Pierce just happened to still be running, and Jimmy Ward blew the coverage. Great play, Alec Pierce. Good way to stay at it. But your quarterback stinks. He has no accuracy. No. He can work on it, but he's not a natural, accurate thrower of the football. And I speak about that all the time because you, in the NFL, you're going to be forced to throw from different platforms with different people in your face. And if you can't even throw from a stable platform when you have a nice pocket, what do you think happens when plays break down and you have to slide to your left? You got to slide to your right. You got to make plays on the run. It's not going to be pretty. Not pretty at all.
One of the reasons why Billy Napier is going to get fired is his quarterback went pro early, and his quarterback is not succeeding. Now he is coming off injury, so let's see what happens. We give him some time. I don't want to run him in the ground just yet, but it's not looking good, especially with that coaching staff. So we talked about some college scores earlier. Well, we do need to talk about some HBCU scores. I don't. I keep saying because I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't. I want to be respectful. TP Bethune-Cookman scored 31 points in their loss to Western Michigan. Of that 31 points, 2 came on kickoff returns. They have a young gentleman. Where is it? They have a young gentleman who can flip the field in a hurry. Darrell Deese, he had 4 kickoff returns for 225 yards, a 56.3 clip. Bethune-Cookman, quarterback, threw 14 times for 116 yards. Nothing to write home about. They ran the ball 47 times for a combined 139 yards. But that is not the problem with Bethune-Cookman. The problem with Bethune-Cookman is they are probably the absolute worst in HBCU football and defense. And I know a lot of people think they are a year away. They starting to look like 2 years away. A lot of these games, again, Prairie View A&M played Michigan State. They got their check. The check cleared. They came home relatively relatively healthy. Alcorn played Edward Waters 38-7. Didn't expect much difference there. Murray State beat Mississippi Valley State 59-8. Alabama State lost to Sanford 7-12. Alabama State coming into the season was supposed to be the SWAT East champion. Oh, there's Marlo. Was supposed to be the SWAT East champion. And Alabama State lost to Sanford 7-12. There are people at Alabama State that I like, so I'm gonna choose my words carefully. They are on their third quarterback, Zach Sims. He threw the ball 9 for 23 for 106 yards. No interceptions, no touchdowns. They ran the ball 34 times for 103 yards. Whatever this team was supposed to be, it's not showing up on the field. And let's be clear, Sanford was not lighting the scoreboard up either with their 12 points. This was a baseball game.
Did you say Bethune-Cookman lost?
Oh, Jesus. Yes, Muller. We said Bethune-Cookman lost. We said they scored 31 points.
Oh, okay. Whew. I thought you was saying something else. Then they won.
No, you know I wasn't going to say something else. Tennessee State beat Arkansas Pine Bluff. That is not the headline. The headline is Eddie George saying that he wished they could play Jackson State. Saying that he wished they could have that old thing back. When y'all just entered into a contract in a classic with Arkansas Pine Bluff. Why?
I would feel kind of slighted if I was Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Ooh. Oh, God. I know I get on here every week and talk about Jill Scott and Khalees. I know
Wow.
it. But I'm not finna risk my life for a shot in the dark. A bird in the hand, Eddie. You get a classic game, you get a classic game money. Be happy. Unless, according to them D people, you come up with that money. But whatever. Jackson State beat Southern 33-15. They did not beat them by 40. Southern got some issues. They're not proficient offensively. Let me take that back. Let me say that differently. They can't run the ball to save their life. They threw the ball 17. I'm sorry, their quarterback, Noah Bolden, threw the ball 17 for 29, 352 yards CP, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. They ran the ball 21 times for 29 yards, 1.4 yard average.
Wow.
On the other side, Jackson State ran the ball 41 times for 201 yards.
41? Jeez.
42 times for 201 yards. They threw the ball 21 times 14 times for 198 through 2 quarterbacks. So I don't know who's going to be their starting quarterback, Jacobian Morgan or Cameron McCoy. I hope Doc was on here to give me an idea of, who is going to be the guy. But it is what it is at this point. Grambling beat Texas A&M Commerce. It's nothing really to write home about that. Alabama A&M beat Georgetown College. Again, nothing really to write home about there. In the MEAC, I'm just gonna go ahead and admit it. Remember when I was telling y'all about like how Norfolk State was gonna pop somebody? I was wrong. I was wrong. Hampton beat Norfolk State 37-7. Hampton ran the ball 49 times for 227 yards. 227 yards. And then because balance is everything, TP. Threw the ball 25 for 30 for 239. Now, I have not had a chance to really watch a Hampton game. I hope to get that done, either catch the rebroadcast or, because I've recorded a couple games, catch the rebroadcast or catch them this week against Howard. I don't know how good Hampton is. I just know, god dang, they balanced. So that is that. But I don't. Norfolk State ran about 30 times for 58 yards. I don't know what happened to their running game. I don't know. Morgan State is celebrating that they only lost to Ohio 21-6. I have not seen the game. I've only seen comments about the game. Apparently, quote unquote, God's defense is really good. We'll see. They lead the nation in turnovers. So in takeaways. South Carolina State lost to Georgia Southern. I didn't think they was gonna beat Georgia Southern at all. North Carolina Central. HBCU Nightly Josh was very poignant about no moral victories. 45-10, but they lost their starting quarterback. We don't know what the status is just yet. And this week, North Carolina Central is going to play their rival, North Carolina A&T, at home, so that's going to be good. Howard somehow let Morehouse get 21 points on the board, beating them 35-21. You can't be struggling with D2 schools. And I'm not anti-Howard, so I want to make sure that anybody Howard people, I think y'all can do better. And then the surprise of the season all season long, Delaware State loses to Wagner 30-7. I thought they might put up some more points because they did put up 14 on Hawaii, but I guess Wagner had seen that tape and was like, yeah, no, we ain't with it. Again, Wagner played a very balanced game. 202 yards rushing. 202 yards passing. 175 rushing. While Delaware State also balanced but not efficient. 149 yards passing. 174 rushing. But again, they was playing Wagner a little bit over their head. So there's that. For this week's game, again, North Carolina Central is probably going to be the game of the week because they're playing North Carolina A&T. I don't know how that's going to go without their quarterback. I just don't. Morgan State is playing Lynchburg. Delaware State is playing Richmond. Somebody beat Richmond last year. I think, was it Delaware? It might have been Delaware State that beat Richmond last year. Either Delaware State or Hampton. Hampton plays again. Hampton plays Howard. Ooh, it might be 2 games of the week. Out of conference. Matter of fact, CAA and MEA. With Hampton playing Howard and North Carolina Central playing North Carolina A&T. But it might be on Flow Sports, so I might not see it. And the thing that Marlon want to talk about. Listen, me and Marlo old enough to remember when Troy was Troy State and there was 1AA and they was the block between FAMU and World Domination. I ain't saying it's a rivalry, but it sure is personal. ESPN is giving Troy a 96% chance to win. Again, Lord, I have seen what you've done for other people. I know you don't necessarily like me trolling on the internet because I'm not nice sometimes. But if you could give me this, and with the Florida State season I done had, you owe me. If you could give me this, I would be so appreciative. It would be the best content on the planet.
Baby Jesus, he's not talking for FAMU. He's just talking for himself because he said you owe him some. So we strike that from the FAMU record. That's put that on track record.
Make sure you said you strike that for family record. That's how we do it.
Yeah,
Fine.
but
Okay,
we
Marlo.
we do believe in you, and I do believe we have a puncher's chance. It ain't like Troy's been lighting it up this season.
No, no. Um,
So they gonna come around. They gonna come out of the tunnel and mess around and find out.
yeah, no. If FAMU can get an early lead and hang on, it might get ugly. All right, Marlo, you can get your jokes off. Clark
No.
Atlanta, Clark Atlanta, 2-1 playing Bethune Cookman. Clark
Oh.
Atlanta might have the second best quarterback in all of HBCU football.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, of course, ESPN don't have his stats, but Clark Atlanta has a young man who last week they battled to a 21-21 tie with FMU because of weather. But he started out the season TP with 7 TDs,
Yeah.
7 of them things.
He's spinning the pill.
And the fact that Bethune Cookman might be the worst defense in all of HBCU football, I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know if I don't,
Where they playing that game at?
at Bethune in Daytona.
Well, we can go over there to the municipal field, and I'm gonna go over there and wear my FAMU stuff.
So you're gonna come back from Atlanta, take a break, and then drive over to Daytona.
Mhm.
Don't ever call me a troll ever again.
You
Ever
forgot. You forgot the part with my FAMU stuff.
again. Don't ever call me a troll again. Mississippi Valley State is playing Nichols College. The battle of the 0 and 3s. I don't know. I don't know. Central Arkansas versus Arkansas Pine Bluff. Again. Don't know. I'll take a flyer on Central Arkansas. That's the best I can think of. Austin P versus Alabama A&M. I think Austin P might win that one. Southern plays Prairie View A&M. And Mr. Lionel, PV versus everybody. Both of them are 1-1. This is in the division. This game count. So Texas Southern is playing Lamar. I think I want to say Texas Southern. I like their coach. Their coach talk like I want to play for him. You know what? I'll go ahead and take Texas Southern. Alcorn versus McNeese. Again, this is probably one of those early season games to get you ready for SWAC conference. McNeese will probably win that. Not for the money. Not for the money. Two for the money. Two for the money. Stanford and Syracuse. I like Syracuse. Easy. I like Syracuse. They ain't got no business being here in the first place. I like Syracuse. That's on. By the way, that's on ESPN on Friday night. On ESPN too, because when you don't win, you don't get to be in prime time at 7 p.m. on ESPN two. Cal takes on Florida State in Tallahassee. The Cocaine Bear been talking big shit
They playing on Tuesday. When they playing?
on Saturday
Oh,
at 7 o'clock.
they should have put them on Tuesday.
I hope you stub your toe, dog.
At least somebody will watch it.
I really hope you stub your toe because the disrespect has been out of hand.
I don't think it's disrespectful when you start the season 0-3 against non-ranked teams.
Are you done? You done? You got some more?
Tell them, Marlo. It's
Un-
unacceptable.
that is unacceptable. Unranked, and y'all were number 10. Y'all know it only happened 6 times in the history of college football that a top 10 team loses their first 3 games. Y'all made history.
For the second time.
That is crazy.
Because Bobby Bowden did it.
His
Wow.
first year. He went 0-3.
I'm first 20th, it happened. That's all I'm saying. I ain't, you be trying to like finesse around the fact.
But I don't think they was ranked number 10 in the country that year they went. His
Are you
first
done?
year?
Are you done?
They started out higher.
Oh, wow.
Higher than number 10.
Yeah, that probably fell real quick.
Yeah, it did. Right out of the. But I mean, they end up getting back in there. Eventually they recruited well. Built some teams. And
Yeah,
Marlo,
yeah.
how you feel about them Atlas people, man?
How I feel about the Ibis?
Uh-huh. They playing good football right now.
I think that they are going to be a team to be reckoned with. They're not going to be out of any game. Not one of them.
I agree. Saw a lot of good things. I mean, they played Ball State this week. They're not, a formidable opponent, but these are grown men.
Yeah, I
And
think
they don't look like a high school team.
that quarterback he different.
Is he NFL worthy?
Yeah,
Wait. Do you think
yeah.
he's better than Shador? I think that's a better question.
That is a good question. I don't know. Arm talent wise, I don't know. No, I'm not gonna say he's better than Shador. No, because
Yeah.
Shador has some crazy receivers, but his line sucks. But
It do.
he has, if he stays upright, the kid can spin the field.
Yeah.
He can spin the field, and when you go 5 and 6 deep on your receiver core, and you got Travis Hunter as one of them, they different.
I mean, it's a Dion coach team. They loaded up at skill positions.
Yeah, they did.
Said fuck the O line. Throw the ball. We don't even care about running. Throw the ball.
They just run just to keep people honest.
Right. We're gonna sprinkle it in a little bit. Surprise you with a run.
Yeah,
But I don't know. The Colorado State game taught us a lot. They have talent on that roster.
they
If you
do.
didn't think they had talent on the roster, they are actually really talented at the skill position. They didn't invest too much in the trenches, and it shows against good teams like Nebraska.
Now, I can tell you this: had they paid more attention to the trenches, they would be a ranked team right now because
Hey,
they can score points with anybody.
you know who did pay attention to the trenches? Boston College.
Yeah.
See, and what I'm seeing, Dion would fit in well in Florida State because they didn't invest in their trenches either.
They showed it.
They'll
They
fit right in.
they were we good over here.
Disrespect say. Here we go.
I don't think that's disrespect. I just think that's calling a spade a spade.
Right.
Are y'all done? Are you done?
What?
Did you get it
We
out your system? We got other
we
games to get to.
we only mentioned
Okay.
Florida State
Oh, for 30 seconds.
if 30
30
seconds.
seconds. 30 seconds too much for Troy, I guess.
Clemson is
Yeah.
playing North Carolina State at home. I like North Carolina State.
Nah, you just being disrespectful.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. They got NC State as a 19-point favorite. Clemson ain't 19 points better than nobody.
You mean they got Clemson as a 19-point favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got Clemson 19-point favorite. I don't think Clemson is 19 points better than anybody. Not,
Either that or North Carolina State suck.
we can't use App State as a measuring tool to gauge how good Clemson is. We lost.
Nope, we lost Paulo. He might be home, so he might be home. He might be coming back.
But do you agree, Troy? We cannot use App State as a measuring stick for Clemson.
Especially
you said
since
you like NC State. I don't think necessarily NC State wins this game, but they don't lose by 20.
they're gonna make it ugly. They're gonna make it ugly.
I'm getting out the car. Give me a second.
You know who? Oh man, the last game I watched college football wise. You want to talk about an ugly game out in Kentucky? That is how you slop a game up. It was sloppy from the beginning.
That's what they do. Kentucky does that.
And I did not do my research, and that's a shame on me because they blew my parlay. I took Georgia to win by 22.5. I did not do my. I would be the first one to say I didn't do my research.
Stoops is our old defensive coordinator.
Kentucky has a great track record with slopping games up with top 10 opponents at home at night. That's like their theme. That stadium was rocking. It was dark. And they were hitting.
It had people questioning how good Georgia really was.
Oh, Georgia ain't number one no more. Texas is because of that game. Texas is now the AP number one team in the country because Georgia struggled with Kentucky. They won the game, but it was a win for Kentucky as well because y'all went 4 quarters with the number one team in the country. They were number one at the time. And they actually had a really good opportunity to win that game. They just didn't capitalize in key moments of the game as the game came to a close. They did not capitalize. But shouts out to them for showing you what it looks like when you slop a game up. You make it nasty. You win the game at the trenches. You at least let them know that you here. Y'all not about to just walk in our town and just mow us into the ground. It wasn't going to happen.
TP, I got a game for you. I don't know what possessed USF to feel like they could sit at the big boy table, but the disrespectful talk, like y'all won something ever.
They went 3.5 quarters with Alabama.
On any level.
That's what it is. That
They,
going 3.5 quarters with Alabama gave them hope. Now they talking shit.
I don't have a dog in this fight. Yes, I went to USF, but when I went to USF, they was happy beating the D2 school. So that's how long ago that was. Um, I'm talking about the disrespect with trolling Miami because they don't have an on-campus stadium. When you don't have an on-campus stadium, it's diabolical. Saying people don't show up to Miami games when you can't fill up a third of Raymond James. What are we doing? What are we doing? We just shooting shots for the sake of shooting them. Like, you can't run up and shoot up Miami when you live in a glass house. You want to know how many? You know what? I'm not going to go there. All I'm going to say is USF is not UCF. Their alumni is very different. This alumni is just now understanding the importance of football. The ones who do understand, I'm going to need y'all to relax. I'm not saying Miami is back. I'm not saying y'all don't have a shot at beating them, because Miami does have holes, but they are formidable on offense. They do have holes defensively. But what I am going to tell you is, them 2 years y'all played good against Alabama, I need you to bring you back to reality, because you also were struggling with Florida A&M at home at night last year. So let's put it all in perspective. You want to jump up to the big boy table, you ain't passed Bethune-Cookman. What are we doing? Relax. Everybody just relax. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. I get excited sometimes. I understand it. You get all caught up in the moment. You be
You
all
said
hot.
something.
Why we disrespect just continues. Anyway, you get hopped up on that gorilla juice and all of that stuff you be drinking. You didn't, for some strange reason, glittered yourself up in green and gold, like you some sick perverted version of Florida State. Stop doing that. Just go to the game, clap, and go home. It ain't but 25 of y'all in Raymond James. What are we talking about? Anybody
I,
know
I
shit?
I think they might beat Florida State.
They play Miami this week, right?
Is
I
Wayne
think
really
so.
gonna have to choke a bitch?
I mean, again, they did go 3.5 quarters with Alabama. It
I'm
was a
just
very
They
it
did
was
the
a
same
very
thing last
physical
year.
game.
I'm
They
just
did
saying.
they did the same thing last year. Then that rain stopped, and Alabama came back on that field. All I'm saying. Let me get through these games before this Muller had me my stuff. Oh Jesus. Um, while we're here talking about college sports, um, the AAC well, I was somebody was upset. Um, I didn't see the other one, but all right. Now that I'm back, the AAC has invited Air Force into their conference, and The AAC got a $1 billion media rights deal that they're distributing to their members. So I understand why Air Force is entertaining going there. And back from the dead, the Pac-12 is talking about adding 4 other teams to make them the 6-pack. It's a 6-pack. So they are adding teams, and they said we are back and open for business. They said they're looking for 4 more teams, and they are not changing the name. They're still going to be the 6-pack. I mean 6-pack, Pac-12. But I mean, why change the name? Because the Big Ten can't count. So why change the name? But yeah, so the AAC, no real big games on there. No real big games on their schedule. I guess we go down to the SEC. Oh, by the way, ESPN, your menu's out of order, out of alphabetical order, but that's just me. Florida plays Mississippi State in the Napier Watch game. It's bad. His wife is complaining about what people are saying. Respectfully, I understand how you feel. People should not be talking to you crazy. So, ma'am, what I would like you to do when people talk to you crazy, you say, respectfully, bitch, if my husband get fired, I get $26 million. If your husband get fired from McDonald's, what he get? That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. A little tip. I don't normally give boot skins tips. That's a little tip. That's all you got to say. That end all that discussion. That being said, I think Mississippi win by 10. UCLA is playing LSU. I think LSU should win that game. Am I wrong in that?
Nope.
Arkansas and Auburn.
Arkansas.
Neither one of these teams look. Oh, yeah. Okay. Auburn is the favorite, by the way, by 3.
Yep, they're gonna lose that game. Arkansas can run the ball.
Yeah, they can. Vanderbilt plays number 7 Missouri at home. Missouri might put up half 100.
Blow up.
They got the best 2 wide receivers in college football. It's gonna get ugly early and often.
Not only do they do that, do they have that? They got a pretty good defense.
Yeah. Tennessee and Oklahoma.
Tennessee they're gonna put up 70
against Brett Venables, the defensive guru.
When Oklahoma played defense.
That's why they hired Brett.
Oh, okay. Have you seen Tennessee?
If Tennessee put up 50, you think I'm looking at my head coach strange? Man, them people in Norman gonna be looking at that dude sideways.
You might as well look at him sideways because them boys finna put up some points. Hell, they would have scored 100, but they called off the dogs. They had 60-something points at halftime. Come on, man. The boys ain't playing. When you got a 6'6" quarterback who has an arm.
But Marlo, they played Kent State.
It don't matter. 60 points at halftime. You can get a high school team to play better defense than that.
TP. TP. Oh. Yeah, Larry, I got dial up. It's dial up over here. TP. They went for it.
Not dial up.
They went for an onside kick after they was up 30-0 in the half.
That's just disrespectful.
I like it. I would have said, if y'all don't like it, stop it.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks. I, listen, respectfully, if you up on me 30 and you onside kick, and I'm just trying to get out the game healthy, that after game handshake gonna get real spicy.
I don't know why. Stop it.
It's gonna get real spicy. Come on, man. 30-0 and you kick up.
That
That's
was in
when
the
they got
first
blamed.
quarter.
They went onside kicking at half.
The halftime score of that game was 50 something to nothing. There was 30 something points in the first quarter.
That's right. What the
Okay.
Penn State couldn't do nothing. I mean nothing.
No. Yeah.
As a team, at one point, who is this Larry guy? Anyway, um, again, we apologize for the slow internet. Happens. Um, Mississippi State beat up on Toledo. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I read that wrong. Oh, I got to go back and change my pick. Toledo beat Mississippi State 41-10, 41-17. I got to change my pick. I got to go back and change my pick in real time. Oh my God, Billy Napier saves his job for one more week. Oh man. All right. Whew, that was. Do we think Georgia Southern can beat Ole Miss?
Hell no.
I'm just asking a question.
Georgia Southern, I don't think they could beat Ole Miss.
Oh God. All right. Before we get to the Big Ten, we're gonna talk about Notre Dame.
For what?
I
They are
mean,
who we thought they were.
We talking about last week or this past week? Because they
They,
won big against Purdue.
they play Purdue. They'll beat up on the team they supposed to beat up on. They run
I
into
mean,
some friction.
they beat A&M, who was a ranked team when they played them.
Man, that was fool's goal. So was Florida State. They lost to Georgia Tech. It was a go.
are you done?
And they lost. They lost three in a row.
So we know preseason rankings don't mean nothing.
Nah, they
Absolutely
don't.
nothing.
Nah, they never have. It's just kind of a way to gauge how teams ended the season coming into the next one. You know, kind of gives you like a starting point. And then those who deserve to be in the top 10, they make their case. Those that deserve to be in the top 25 make their case. NC State has played very good football, which is why they have a chance to beat Clemson.
Yeah.
Clemson's lost so far is to the number 2 team in the country. So, you know, it's like how bad do you grade them for losing that game? You know, outside of how bad they looked in the game, because they looked abysmal. It was terrible.
They looked horrible. And then
So
Georgia came and looked horrible against Kentucky. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't do nothing.
I don't know if you was here for it, but I was talking to Troy. I go back and do some research, and that happens more times than you think in Kentucky. They they have a knack for slopping games up, making them nasty, and keeping themselves in games and have beat top 10 opponents at home in that stadium.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was unaware with their game. You know what I'm saying? I was unfamiliar, but I know now. I won't pick against them against a ranked team at home. Not at least to, them get blown out. They
Yeah,
compete.
no.
You know what I mean? They competed for 4 quarters. They competed with the number one team in the country, and
They're they're SEC school,
right,
so they gonna play ball.
they in that market.
Yeah.
It ain't too many soft teams in the SEC. So like, if you come
Mm-mm.
down there thinking you about to just walk over them, nah,
They
you
ain't
you
gonna
should
happen.
have read the scouting report.
Oh man. All right. We went through a lot of stuff. There's some news that I promised to talk about, but I wanted to wait till Marlo got here. Marlo,
Yes, sir.
Miss Angela Suggs is set to become the next AD on the highest of seven hills. I would like to call her the fundraiser because she get her money up.
Yeah.
At the Florida Sports Association, she was attributed to raising $70 billion. I get my money up.
That's low hanging fruit right there.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure what podcast you think this is, but we don't discriminate against women, especially for Florida A&M. If you can get your money up, if you can
Please believe it.
bring money into the school, what are we talking about? Nothing precludes a woman from being an AD. Period.
For
Point
real.
blank.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure why that comment came up, but okay. Um, I am both hopeful and thankful. She is family, class of '92. That means she was up there with us, Marlo.
Hey, I never mind.
Oh wait, I'm
Yes.
sorry. We was choir boys in Tallahassee. We was.
I don't even want to look
So,
up because I
man, how
know.
can you be against a FAMU alum running the athletic department? Because there are women's sports in athletic departments.
You say Angela Suggs.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that, Marlo. Matter of fact, if I find out you got any, any scrapbooks, I'm coming to your house and I'm burning them.
I don't,
Now you just trolling. Now you just trolling, dog. You just trolling
I,
at this point.
I don't keep records.
Good, 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 good. But no, that from the AD's front, that's good news because that's the alumni. Definitely wanted her in the past. Her ability to raise funds, her ability to communicate and understand the culture of FAMU is definitely going to be a plus. Let's just hope for the best. No, we ride behind her. I
Where
rode
was
behind
she?
the last
Where was
AD.
she? Where was she before?
She was at the before she accepted the position. She was at the Florida Sports Foundation.
Oh shit,
So
that's a
basically,
no-brainer.
exactly. So she get
She's
money.
immersed. Yeah, she's immersed.
I'm not an alum. I'm just a fan. As long as she get money for the university, I'm gonna be behind it.
First of
Unless the
all,
alumni tell me different.
I am alone, and they even if they said something different, how they gonna go against her track record?
For real. So, you know, welcome to the highest of seven hills. Welcome to the highest of seven hills.
Welcome
Um,
back.
for real. It's that's man, that's so much joy. So much joy. Um, Marlo, it's been an interesting week. What you got for us?
My daughter, she came in third place today in a
Oh,
golf
little
tournament.
mama, little mama.
Uh, I don't know. I think we might have something here. This is her first year playing competitive golf. She just usually goes out with me, but she wanted to dip her toes into the pool, and now she didn't got hooked. So probably gonna be spending some money on some more clubs and all that good stuff coming up here soon. But she is definitely hooked and good and good. She has a good foundation, a really decent swing, and we're gonna see how far we can take it. They give good scholarships for golfers, so that's definitely something we looking into.
Well, congrats, little mama. I remember when I came to homecoming, and she was just a little bit baby. I mean, the class, and she was just a little bit baby. Uh,
Hmm.
time flies. Time flies.
She'll be 15 this coming Monday.
You're just trying to make me feel old.
You
Well,
are.
you're gonna stub your toe, right? Just want you to let that be known. Um,
Man, I had a softball game today. I had to bust out today. I'm the little massager, deep tissue massager. It's been
well,
a little while.
you gotta stretch. You know you gotta stretch. Well, this week, guys, I'll be honest with you. It's been a rough week, and it's just Tuesday. Um, lot of
Somebody,
stuff going on. Um, Florida State announced their depth chart. Um, basically is unchanged. No, I got all your background. I got all your
oh, all
background.
right, hold on. Go ahead.
I we had the depth chart for this week's game, and DJU is apparently um the starting quarterback. And I don't know what the other quarterbacks did to not get an opportunity to start. Maybe they got caught on video beating baby seals. I don't know what the deal is, but apparently they are not going to be allowed to start. And if you're a captain that's going to go down with the ship, I guess you're going to go all the way down. Um, you know, I just you're going to go all the way down, and that it is what it is. I just hope we can get a win against the Cocaine Bears of the West, because do you really want them celebrating on Twitter? Them, like, there is. I know we're having a bad year, but at some point there's got to be rock bottom. This got to be rock bottom. Like, if losing Georgia Tech and Boston College and Memphis ain't rock bottom, I'm gonna be an alcoholic before December get here. So let's just go out, run, block, tackle, catch, get us a win. I ain't asking for what I was asking for in the past. This ain't a Duquesne type deal. You ain't got to put up half 100. Just win the game, get out healthy. Let's just see what we can do. That's all I got. What you got, TP?
Longhorns winning, Texas winning. I'm happy. Again, we ain't got no quarterback controversy in Austin. Quinn is the guy. He will be the guy. But beware, because when Arch Manning takes over next year, it is going to get real dark for a lot of teams really fast. I didn't know he had wheels like that. I was unfamiliar with that part of his game, but I know now. So does the rest of the country. He's gonna put everybody on notice. But we got to focus on this season with with 3-0. We're playing great football, dominant football, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We took in some very good transfers. I'm really, liking Isaiah Bond in our offense. He came over from Alabama because he wanted to play with a real quarterback. and I meant that in the most disrespectful way. We are built to win the SEC. Will we win it? That's to be seen. But for right now, I think that we have a very, very good program going. NFL wise, Texans are doing great. I think we moved up to either number 2 or 3 in the power ranking. D'Amico Ryan said, when you play us, you're going to get hit hard. It don't matter who you are. I told y'all they was going to give Caleb Williams his welcome to the NFL moment. That man looked shell-shocked by the end of that game. He got beat up for 4 quarters, and his coach did nothing to protect him. The refs did nothing to protect him. Then nobody helped Caleb in that game. Nobody. I hope that they don't, ruin this young man's career. I might have had some choice words about him earlier this year, but at the end of the day, he's a professional athlete, and I respect what he does for a living. But with that being said, Chicago has not necessarily historically catered to their quarterbacks. Even when they won the Super Bowl, it wasn't on Shane McMahon. It was on their defense. So until they properly care for their quarterbacks, they're going to continue to struggle. That win against the Titans is really an outlier because Will Levis gave the game away. But the Chicago Bears defense is legit. Those guys are legit on that side of the ball. What they struggle with is protecting their quarterback and being able to control the line of scrimmage on the offensive side. This football week taught me a lot about just how the sport is going. It's a lot closer than people think. There's a reason we didn't see a lot of blowouts, and that's because these are professional athletes. They get paid to do this, so they are going to go out there and give it their all. And we saw teams that wasn't supposed to win games, teams that wasn't supposed to competed, and some of them won their game as well, i.e. the Raiders. Nobody thought the Raiders would go into Baltimore and come out with a win. On the road, 9-point dog. Come on, man. These are grown men. And you better show some respect for them because every team is going to show up ready to play. Don't be surprised if the Panthers go out there and play some football this weekend. If you love the sport, this is the best time to watch it. Teams are getting there. They trying to get their foot in. They're learning who they are. They're trying to formulate an identity. And we are seeing an elevation in the level of defense played in the NFL. Everybody was saying, oh, this is it's a fun league. We're throwing the ball around. Hey, these DBs said, no, we can play some football too. You're seeing good receivers get locked down. You're seeing young receivers find their stride and make plays. At the end of the day got to end.
TP want to make sure he get him a quotable in. I see you. We did not talk about the North Carolina Central and North Carolina A&T band issue. Essentially, North Carolina Central is charging North Carolina's A&T band extra money for their band to be there. And because it's a rivalry, it is quite petty. I'm here for it. I understand it, but hopefully, we can get that game on something other than Flow Sports because I can't pay for another service. Hopefully, I think it's on ESPN. I'm gonna hit Josh up. I think it's on ESPN. That'll be great if it is because that's a rivalry game. The Howard Hampton game is a rivalry game, so I'm going to try and catch as many HBCU games as possible because if they get their numbers up, maybe they can get a better media rights deal. So I'm going to do my part. I'm definitely going to do my part. For everybody here at Fat Mouth Sports and the Madness Basketball Podcast, myself, TPDK, was not able to make it tonight. We are out.
I'm out too.
Yeah, let me get you out right now.